For the past 3 weeks, we have been looking at some key figures in the Nativity story to see what we can learn from them. We looked at Mary and her reaction to Gabriel's message. We looked at John the Baptist and the humility he had as he realized his purpose was to prepare the people for the coming Messiah. And last week, we looked at the 3 wise men and how their gifts symbolized the divine nature of the Christ child, his holiness, and the suffering he would endure for us. In all 3 cases, they were willingly obedient to God. This week, we're going to look at the baby in the manger, Jesus himself. Now, when we look at the nativity scene, do we fully realize who that baby is? It is hard for our minds to grasp that God became man and left his home in heaven to come and live among us. And yet that is what the word Emmanuel means, God among us. Have you ever been away from home? Maybe you travel for business and stay in luxury hotels. Maybe you've traveled to other countries to explore their history and beauty. Maybe, like me, you've gone to spend time with your family. These are all wonderful experiences, and they're very enjoyable or fulfilling. And yet, nothing can compare to the feeling when your plane lands on your hometown airport runway, or you pull your car into your driveway, and best of all, when you lie down and sleep in your own bed. As Dorothy said in The Wizard of Oz, there is no place like home. But for Jesus, this was much more. He set aside his glory, his power and majesty, and stepped out of eternity into our temporal world. He was restricted by the body of a baby, a little child, and even an adult, which confined him in the ability to travel, enabled him to feel pain and all the suffering of a physical body. He left the throne of heaven for a feeding trough. He left the presence of angels to enter a stable filled with animals. He is larger than the universe and controls all of nature with his word alone, and yet he chose to be without words and dependent on Mary for his nourishment. He willingly and obediently left everything he knew for us. Now, from the Father's perspective, he sent his Son, the one he loved with a love greater than anything we can understand, into a world filled with people whom he also loved with a love greater than anything we can understand, but a people who would not understand him, would not accept his deity, and were sinners. He sent him to suffer physically and die for them, for us, totally alone. Can you imagine sending your child on such a journey and watching every moment? We are told in John 3:16, the most well-known Bible verse, "For God so loved the world that he sent, his only Son, Jesus, that whoever believes in him should not perish, but have eternal life with him and the Father." Paul wrote of Jesus in his letter to the Philippians. Though he was God, he did not think of equality with God as something to cling to. Instead, he gave up his divine privileges. He took the humble form of a slave and was born as a human being. When he appeared in human form, he humbled himself in obedience to God and died a criminal's death on the cross. And this is why we celebrate Christmas, why we are filled with such love at this time of year. My hope is that we will carry this Christmas love with us throughout the entire year. And that, my friends, is this week's and the last Timeout Tuesday for 2025. I hope to see you all in 2026. God bless you all.